What is our purpose? Where are we going? Who am I? How do I get good scan lines on my PC CRT? Well, I'm only here to answer one of those questions today. Let's get into it. Okay, so what are our options here? First off, we've got 480p, which I showed off in my first video. That's great, right? Well, if you have a smaller or lower end PC CRT, which will have thinner scan lines and look more like a PVM than this image with 480p, then 480p will look awesome. Everyone will agree on that. If you also prefer those extreme bacon thick scan lines a la the BVM D24, this will be your favorite look, even if you have one of the larger, higher end PC CRTs like I do. Most people, however, are going to think that these scan lines are way too thick. Also, it takes away half the luminance of the screen. So is there any other way? Well, let's increase the resolution from 2x to 3x, 960 by 720p. Uh-oh, looks like we got a problem. I've arrowed it out so you know what I'm talking about. What is that? Let's zoom in. It looks like the monitor is so sharp that there's vertical space in between each color line, creating scan lines at 720p without a scanline shader. These show up as scan lines within scan lines when we then apply our scanline shader, which doesn't look like any 15 kHz CRT I know. Well, how do we fix this? Well, all we have to do is crank up the resolution. 1280 by 960p? Nope, still there. 1600 by 1200p? Nope, still there. 1920 by 1440p. Alright, that's starting to look right. Hey, why not just go to the maximum 240p scale my monitor can handle? You know, I don't get to use my Sunix's full bandwidth often, so here goes. 2560 by 1920p. Now the effect is totally gone, as you can see with this zoom. Many monitors will be fine at 1440p or even 1200p, and mine mostly is as well at 1440p. Just, hey, why not push it to the max? There's another advantage the higher you go, granularity. See, we have it at the minimum scanline setting here. I'll turn it up one by one. Starting with 1 pixel black, 7 pixels color, 2 pixels black, 3 pixels black, 4 pixels black, 5 pixels black, 6 pixels black, 7 pixels black, and 1 pixel color. This might look familiar. That's right, it's the same as our 480p shot, except a lot dimmer. So, what did you think looked best? I'm partial to between 30 and 50%. So 3 pixels black or 4 pixels black, although I also like the thick scan lines, and I can certainly get down with the meme lines. No, really, the farther away you sit, the better they look. Our 480p 60 on this monitor is almost a 90% black to 10% color ratio. Wow, that's a lot of dark phosphor area. It's still only a 50% light loss on 480p though, thanks to every natively scanned resolution having the same luminance on a CRT. So if you want to use this, stick to 480p. I'll quickly show how to set these up in RetroArch and Reshade over the next few minutes. Alright, so you need to have your settings on integer scale, otherwise the scan lines will not line up. You don't need overscale. When you have a CRT, you can just set the right resolution instead of using overscale, but I'm using my 1080p PDM, so I want to use it. So that's why it's on. So we'll back out of this menu. Alright, and yeah, if you're in-game, you just go to your quick menu, the shaders menu, and then this confuses a lot of people. You're not going to use these load and save shader presets. You'll use those later, but when you're first applying one shader, you just come down here, you click one shader pass, right? And then you select your shader. If you're on a modern driver like GL Core or Vulkan or D3D11, D3D12, you're going to want to use slang, right? And then you've got two good options that I'll recommend. I'm sure there's more, but these are the ones that I use. Interlacing. Just apply changes here. Interlacing is going to automatically pick a pretty good scanline ratio for you. Yeah, there you go. It also simulates interlacing if 480i is called. That's pretty cool. So if you don't want to think at all, this is definitely what you should pick. Or if you have a game that is switching between 240p and 480i and you want to experience that 480i closer to the way it was supposed to look, pick this shader. Otherwise, if you just want scanlines or you don't like interlacing and you just want to leave it behind and use progressive, go down here into scanlines, integer scaling scanlines. Apply changes. So that's just done a preset, but we have full granularity here. So the minimum here, 1 pixel on 1080p, 2 pixels, 3 pixels, 4 pixels, and then 0. That's 1080p overscale. Underscale would be 960p, overscale is 1200p. So that's what it's letting us do, and by my eye, that looks best on my monitor. So there you go, that's what you do. And then if you want to save the preset, then you just save global preset, or save shader preset as, I'll say OLED PVM. There you go. And then if you do save global preset, then it will just be your global RetroArch preset. And there you go, that's how you use it. So next we'll do Reshade. Alright, and here you can see I have scanlines in Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight. It's a really good Metroidvania game. So yeah, the way I got those, just installed Reshade with the RetroArch shaders. And then down here you've got scanlines fract, right? So this is your integer scaling scanlines, and you can adjust everything the same way. Again, you need integer scaling, so this is a 1280 by 960 window, using that in integer scaling, NVIDIA integer scaling, because my monitor's 1080p, but with a CRT you can just set any integer scaled resolution for the game that you want to play, and then there you go. And then obviously scanline darkness needs to be at 1, at 50% by default, but you need to set that to 1. And then boost, you can play with that if you want to use that. It's on 1.1 by default. Yeah, just find what looks best for you. I like 1 on this 960p, but if I was doing 1200p, I'd put it to 2 or 3. Yeah, so let me just show that for a second. Yeah, looks great. Alright. And then, what if you can't use integer scaling? What if you want to get things working on, like, AM2R with the widescreen on your 1080p display, and you just can't use integer scaling? Well, for that, you've got your scanlines abs shader. So that just overlays scanlines over the image, and there you go. There's all the settings. You can tweak it to what you want, but this is what I want for AM2R, and there it is. So yeah, it looks pretty great. Obviously this won't come through that well on the YouTube video because of compression, but I assure you in real life this looks amazing. Absolutely amazing on the OLED PVM. Alright, so that about sums it up. That's how you get your perfect scanline shaders on your PC CRT. Let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next, but I do have a few ideas. In the next few days, you'll see a video or two from me probably. Alright, yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day.